What's up, world? It's your guy, Guitar K, man. Look, 1 Timothy 6:10. The love of money is the root of all evil. The love of money, not money itself, because people get that confused. I'm not talking about no paper with a president's face on it is evil. Nothing about that in itself is evil. You can ball that up, you can rip it up, you can burn it up. It's nothing evil about that. The love of money is the root of all evil. Talking about materialism, man. Look, the invisible ball and chain of materialism. It's an unseen evil that seems right. It seems okay. There's nothing wrong with being ambitious. There's nothing wrong with being driven, to gain personal gains. Nothing wrong with that. But for the love of money, dare I even need to speak on it? I mean, obviously because I'm doing a video, right? But let's go to the Webster's definition of materialism. Now, materialism, a tendency to consider material possessions and physical comfort as more important than spiritual values. Let's put that in layman terms. I read a quote in a book that says, we will use people and love things when it is more, spiritually or morally right to love people and use things. Let me repeat that. We use people and love things when we should love people and use things. That's materialism at its core. Disclaimer. I grew up spoiled, and not too long ago, I was one of the most materialistic people that I know. So let me just get that out the way. I'm not trying to act like I'm just some holier than thou person and that I'm just coming straight from materialistic people, because I grew up materialistic myself. So let's just get that out the way, because I know it's going to be some people that seen this video and be like, I can't believe that this guy's on here talking about being materialistic. Quick story about my grandmother. I always talk about my grandmother. So I was spoiled. I got a lot of things that I wanted growing up. My father was incarcerated when I was a kid. So my grandmother's method was, I will get you anything you want so you don't follow in his footsteps and do the things that he did. I will get you what you want. That way you don't have to do what he did. So I used to get a lot of clothes for school. I used to get a lot of sneakers. And I would hang my outfits up on the door, before I would go to school the next day. And I would put my sneakers at the bottom of the door. And my grandmother seen this, because my grandmother was a real spiritual person, like how it talks about. We put these material things over spiritual values. And my grandmother didn't do this. And she would say, you love these clothes more than you love your body. You should be thanking God for a body to put these clothes on. You should be thanking God for feet to put these sneakers on. But you so wrapped up on the clothes and the shoes that you don't even care about your body and your feet. That's what I'm talking about with materialism, man. People will take care of their car better than they take care of their body. People will go get their oil change before they go get a checkup. People will buy a new outfit before they go to the dentist. That's what I'm talking about. That's materialism. That's so backwards, man, because the clothes is when people looking at your clothes and they talking about you look nice, they're looking at your clothes. They're looking at something that came off of a rack, something that you went out and bought. A nice smile, that's your smile. That's your teeth. People, when you got a nice car, they're looking at the car. They're not looking at you. But your body that you take care of, through exercise and going to get your checkup, making sure you're healthy. When somebody say you have a nice body, that is you. That is your body. The car is not really part of you. You see what I'm going at with this? Materialism, man. We got it backwards. And I'm not talking about like vanity, being so egotistical, like walking around. Like I did a video on macho-ness. I'm not talking about like walking around, with your chest puffed out like peacock with feathers out and everything like that. I'm not talking about that. But I am talking about, being over materialistic, putting so much energy into how much money you got and what type of car you drive and having the latest fashion and following all the latest trends, and not being in tune with your spiritual life, not being in tune with your health is backwards. I mean, What good is it to be dressed up, but poor health and poor spiritual conditioning? You know what I'm saying? Your spirit is important. Your health is important. I would say that it's 10 times more important than how well you dress. Your attitude is 10 times more important than how you dress. How you think and how you feel is 10 times more important than how you dress or how much money you got in your pocket, man. None of that is really going to make you happy. Materialism is a trick bag. Whoever that you're buying these things from, what you're doing is really making that person happy. Yeah, you're making that person happy. The person that you're buying these material goods from, Jordan or Versace or Gucci, these people are probably really happy and spiritually enriched and probably thanking you all the way to the bank that you are so materialistic and so following up on all the latest trends and everything that comes by. Materialistic is greed. It's idolatry. It's covetousness. You know what I'm saying? It's not the way to go, man. The love of money is the root of all evil. People will rob and steal and kill for that dollar bill just to impress people who are unimpressed and don't really care anyway, man. You selling your soul. What good is it to gain the world for the price of your soul for some rags and shiny things that just rust away and dust away and you can't take none of it with you? Denzel, in a speech that I heard him say, he said he never seen a hearse with a U-Haul behind it. So you busting your ass all this time, all your life, just to gather all these things that you can't take none of it with you. I read a story on a reporter. They did interviews on rich people, very wealthy people on their deathbeds. And they asked them, if there's anything you could have done different in your life, what would that have been? And they said they would have spent less time chasing money and more time, with their family and doing things that was fun and, getting in tune with their spiritual life, because now that they're dying, all their fortune is just going to be spread out and given away to people that's not going to appreciate it anyway. They said they would have took more time out to appreciate life. Because that's what life is about, appreciate the journey, not just being in a rat race, ripping and running and chasing down the almighty dollar is what they call it. And it sure is mighty, man, because they got people ripping and running and chopping each other at the neck just to gain material gain, just to make another person rich. And like I said, man, not too long ago, I was caught in that rat race, man. But I guess you could have two types of materialism. I read this. It has root causes of materialism. Some people like it to be braggadocious, to put other people down, to say, I got this and you don't. And my materialism, my root cause was low self-esteem. And I'm not afraid to admit that. As a kid, I was skinny. I was awkward. I always got teased and everything. Now, I'm not because of my clothes. I always dressed well because my grandmother, like I said, she bought me nice clothes and everything like that. But I don't think that I was the most handsome guy growing up, and I was always teased. So I thought that I needed the latest clothes and everything like that to pump up my self-esteem. Having the latest clothes that I thought would make me more socially acceptable. But all that did was push me deeper inside of myself, not knowing how to be part of the world, push me to drugs, push me to alcohol, force me to wear masks. And now, not until very, very recently have I realized that my self-esteem is not attached to how much money I got or what I wear. And the people that I attract from those traits, they really don't like me anyway. And I don't need to be validated by those people. It doesn't matter. What those people think about me doesn't matter. And it takes practice every day because it's hard to leave those traits behind. It's real, that instant gratification that you get from buying something new and driving around a nice car. It feels good in that moment, but those feelings doesn't last. And the people that you attract, soon as those things are gone, those people are gone. But like I said, don't get me wrong. That validation does feel good. So I get it. But what I'm trying to get people to see is that materialism does not last. What really lasts, what real self-esteem looks like, is to realize that you don't need any of those things. What you need to do is focus on yourself, focus on your health. Health is the real wealth, not materialistic things, man. Do not waste all of your time chasing material things. I'm not saying that it's nothing wrong with having some nice things, but what I'm saying is don't love the things more than you love yourself. Don't love the things more than you love people. Don't love the things more than you love your family. Man, look, man, don't work overtime when you could be spending that time working on yourself, exercising, reading, getting your mind right. Working on your spiritual principles, working on some values, maturing yourself into this world. Because it's crazy out here, man. Chasing material things will lead you to a deathbed. It will make you die early. Stress will kill you. Chasing material things is a stressful, everyday endeavor, man. I just don't know. Like I said, man, people will take care of their house better than they take care of their self. Everything on the outside looks so good, but on the inside, death. Yeah, man, like I said, materialism is not the way to go, man. Look, in 2025, man, we need to break the cycle of all of these years of the crazy stuff that they told us that we need to be dipped and tripped and cripped in the latest fashion. Man? The new style is to feel good on the inside. Because when you feel good on the inside, no matter what you put on, you're going to glow. No matter what you wear, you're going to shine. No matter how much you got in your pockets, you're going to be fine. It don't matter, man. All we need is enough to get by. All we need is enough to support ourselves. We don't need to be overdoing it out here, chasing pipe dreams and unicorns, man. Leave the materialistic where the materialistic need to be, in the trash, because that's where it all goes anyway. Because at the end of the day, it's all just garbage, man. I think I'm going to leave it right there. Hopefully you got something out of this, man. Let me make sure there's nothing else that I left on the table that I didn't want to, no points that I didn't miss that I didn't want to go over, man. Possessions and physical comfort, man. There's nothing wrong with being a little bit uncomfortable sometimes. That's where we grow. Possessions, will weaken you sometimes. Sometimes it's okay to go without because that's where you build strength at. Sometimes it's okay to be a little bit uncomfortable because that's where you grow. You grow in uncomfort, man. So let's leave the materialistic stuff where it's at. Let's break the chains. Let's break free of that, man, because that's where you're going to get strong, both mentally and physically, man. 2025, man, we're going to break the chains of materialism. This your guy, Guitar K. Be more shit.